You know, for 5 years, I've been honoured to present this program, and I appreciate your support over that time. All the thoughts from me, well, they're mine. I'm trusted by management to present my opinion, and I'm doing my bit, rattling the sabre and building up the case for Australia's national sovereignty. You know, it's disappointing and frankly disturbing that the case for our national sovereignty is not being touted by most of our national leaders, while it's being eroded by process-rich, outcome-poor public officials and their political masters, particularly at the state level. We have woeful, aimless leadership in our state governments. Aimless, without vision, risk-averse. They're managing our decline, and it's frightening. Our children and their children are on track to inherit a lower standard of living than the one we inherited and have enjoyed. And this absence of vision, of ambition to do new things, is robbing our economy and our nation of growth and purpose. There is no big picture. Government is bad at most things, yet we've become so reliant on government intervention in everything. Are we really this? A country of people waiting for government to tell us what to do, how to think, and how we interact with each other. I hope we're better than this, but I fear so many have succumbed to following every edict of the political elites, the bourgeoisie, the bureaucracy, the elites. They always seek to keep we proletariat plebs in our place. They've engaged in a shock and awe approach. You know, new and higher taxes here, more forms and fees there, slow approval times, restrictions everywhere. It's having the desired effect. Disincentive, disencouragement has altered our national confidence. There's no doubt governments don't trust us. And this is why there's so many taxes, laws, forms and fees, and everything has to be applied for. This isn't freedom. We need to flip the way we do business, or we're going to go completely out of business. And of course now the radical Greens, well, they want to restrict us even further, weakening our sovereignty even further. The draconian Environmental Protection Biodiversity Conservation Act, the EPBC, well, it's already the bureaucratic handbrake on so many things, but the Greens, well, they now want a climate change impact assessment on everything. So there goes the Barbies in the park. Goodbye, motorsports. Let's build our Olympic stadiums out of mud and bamboo, not concrete. And if you think that's extreme, well, I never mind being wrong, but the blank cheques being written right now to secure support for ridiculous emissions reduction targets means we will find out way after the fact. This Environmental Protection Act, it seemed like a good idea at the time when I voted for it 22 years ago. Yeah, I voted for it. However, this act has developed enormous mission creep. It's been codified with most powers delegated to state and territory governments, which manage land use, and they have many powers to delay progress. Currently, for example, here in Queensland, it's anything up to 8 years of processing time for major projects. 8 years! This disincentivises government from acting quickly and often discourages the private sector from, well, even trying. Any wonder the Brisbane Olympics has been given 10 years to prepare. It's 8 years of paperwork and 2 years of actual building things. I've often criticised this EPBC Act. It's been a Trojan horse to delay Australia. There's been no new dams and so on. And the Morrison government, well, they did do a review of the Act after a lot of urging from people like me, but like a lot of things, the Morrison government failed to be courageous enough to actually axe the Act. Now the Greens, well, they're proving to be even more barking mad than I feared. They want to add this other layer of inquiry on every project. This is not good for Australia. The Greens clearly want Australians to live in a third world country. No power, no water, no industry, just trees. However, no third world country would actually put up with this nonsense, not without revolution. But sadly, the governments of Australia, federal and state, on both sides have been hoodwinked by the extreme green nonsense. Equally sad are the older Australians, and you probably know some, who frankly should know better, believing that supporting all these green causes are going to save the planet for their grandchildren. You see, the planet's going to survive. Sadly, our grandchildren, though, are going to inherit this massive green tape debt, and their own grandchildren will also still be paying the price for all this nonsense too.